If there was ever a time to launch a video podcast, it's now. According to Cumulus Media and Signal Hill's fall report, YouTube is the most popular platform to watch or listen to podcasts. They also found that 65% of podcast listeners prefer watching video podcasts instead of just listening to audio, and 37% are actively watching the video while listening. In this video, I'll walk you through everything from planning your podcast to publishing your first episodes and help you decide on the gear and software you need as well. Before you just jump right in and record your first episode, let's figure out a few things first. What will your podcast be about? What will you name your podcast? If you're struggling with this, we have a video all about choosing a name. You'll find it down below. Decide on a format. Solo episodes? Will you have a co-host? Will you interview guests? Will it be in person or remote? I do remote interviews. I'm currently in Buenos Aires, Argentina, and my guests aren't here. So to record high quality audio and video, I record all of the episodes using Riverside.fm, the sponsor of today's video. More on why we like using Riverside instead of Zoom, Skype, or Google Meet later on in the video. Write a brief description of your podcast. Think of it as an elevator pitch. If you had 30 seconds to explain the idea to someone while on an elevator, what would you say to them? You'll need this in a later step when you're publishing your first episodes. It's important that you think about it before you start recording your podcast. Make a list of at least a dozen episode ideas or guests you could interview. I don't want you to start recording and when you sit down to record the 5th episode, you realize you don't have any more ideas on the topic and you quit. If it's easy to come up with episode ideas, it'll also be easy to keep recording episode after episode. This is a marathon, not a sprint. What equipment do you need for your podcast? You could record the audio and video using your cell phone, but if you're taking this seriously, I'd at least make a small investment in a microphone. Even with a video podcast, the audio is more important than the video. A good podcast microphone enhances your audio quality and captures less background noise and echo. My favorite beginner podcast mic is the Samsung Q2U. This is a dynamic microphone that can be connected using either USB connected to your computer or phone or XLR connected to a recording device and currently costs around $70 on Amazon and elsewhere. For a list of popular microphones, I'll include a video down below. If it's just you or you're interviewing remote guests, a USB mic could be ideal because it plugs directly into your computer or phone, so there's no need for a separate recording device. You could record the audio and video using Riverside for you alone or you with your remote guests. With Riverside's free plan, you can record up to 2 hours per month. If you have multiple hosts or guests in the same space, you'll want a recorder like this one from Zoom. This one allows you to connect up to 4 microphones and records each one on a separate audio track. You can use any headphones you have to monitor the audio, but it's better not to use wireless or Bluetooth headphones because there can be a slight delay or the battery could die in the middle of a recording. The Audio-Technica M20X is a popular option costing around $50. For a more premium option, check out the Rode NTH100 for around $150. For the video, you can record great videos with your phone as long as you have good lighting. I travel with this aperture light and reflect the light off of a white wall, so I have a large light source to light my videos. You can also record in front of a large window, but not in direct sunlight. If you're recording remote interviews, you might be able to use the webcam of your laptop. Many new laptops, like the new MacBook Pros or MacBook Airs, have pretty decent webcams. I'd recommend testing the video of your webcam and then compare it to your phone's camera. In most cases, your cell phone is going to record a better video. You could also invest around $60 to buy a webcam like this one from Logitech to improve your video quality. I record my video podcast episodes and YouTube videos with my Sony a7 IV. There are lots of great cameras out there. The best one is the one you already own. I recorded the first YouTube videos for this channel with my iPhone 6s. Use what you have for your first episodes and upgrade after you're sure you want to invest your time, money, and energy into a video podcast. We have a free guide to launching your video podcast. You can sign up to get it in the description below. Before you record your first episode, make sure to do a test recording. Check the audio levels. Most recorders and software will tell you the decibel level. You'll want your normal speaking voice to be between -18 and -12 decibels. While speaking normally, the level should show up high in the green. If it's yellow or red, it's too loud. If it's too high when you speak loudly, the audio could be distorted. And if it's too low, it won't sound good either. The space you record in is also important. Try to record where there's little background noise. You don't want to hear a refrigerator running, air conditioner, or traffic noise coming from a nearby window. Also, you don't want to record in a room with too much echo. This is usually caused because there are too many flat, hard surfaces. You can check the echo in a room by clapping and listening for the echo. The more soft things there are in a space, the better. Carpet, a bed, couch, rugs, etc. If you're worried about the echo in a room, try spreading out pillows, blankets, towels, anything you can use to cover some of the hard surfaces. If you're not satisfied with how the audio sounds in the space you'd like to record in, you can use Magic Audio from Riverside, where with the click of a button, you can remove a lot of the background noise and improve the quality of your audio. Make sure you're also doing a test video. Is the lighting good? Maybe the light is reflecting off your glasses, like if I look over here. Is it too dark? Did you forget to remove something from the background? Write an outline for the episode. This could be a bullet point list of what you want to talk about and go through each of the points one by one as you're recording. If you're doing interviews, you can make a list of potential questions to ask your guests. Some podcasters will even write a word-for-word script and read it from a teleprompter like I am right now. I'd say most podcasts are a bit more freeform, so this option is less common. This step is important because if you just start recording without a plan, you'll ramble, which means more work to edit out the unimportant parts, or if you leave all of it in, then the listener could get bored, leave, and not return to listen to future episodes. Another tip here, if it's possible, try to front load the more important, interesting parts of the episode. For all types of content, audio, video, etc., the retention is important. If everything interesting is at the end of the episode, many of your listeners aren't going to make it that far. You've got to hook them in the beginning and keep them listening all the way to the end. If you want to know how experts think about this, watch this interview with the Diary of CEO's marketing manager talking about all the work they put into planning and testing. Recording your episodes. Now the fun part. If you're recording with guests, make sure you arrive early, test all the equipment before they arrive so you've got everything ready to go as soon as they get there. One great thing with podcasts, they're not live. If you mess up, don't worry. Just redo that part. You can edit out the mistakes later on. Go through your intro to hook the viewer into listening to the entire episode, then go through the main content, and then close. A tip here, at the end of each episode, recommend an episode for the viewer to watch next. If someone finishes one episode and then you're recommending something related to watch next, there's a really good chance after watching or listening to a couple of your podcast episodes, they're going to subscribe and watch future content. If you're doing interviews, usually I like to get right into the interview and record the intro after the interview because I know everything discussed during the episode and I can create a more interesting hook to get people excited about the episode. Here's what it looks like when I record an episode with Riverside. The guest joins, we chat for a minute so they know what to expect, then I hit record. When we finish the interview, I stop the recording and if necessary, chat with the guest for a couple of minutes while we wait for the high quality audio and video to finish uploading to the cloud. It's being recorded on each person's computer, so regardless of the quality of the internet during the interview, there are no interruptions in the final recording. There are a lot of options for editing your video podcast. CapCut, DaVinci Resolve, iMovie, Riverside, etc. Riverside has a great editor with a handful of useful editing tools to quickly edit your video podcast, improving the audio, and to help you create short video clips for social media. You can edit based on the transcript, making it much easier to find repetitive parts of the podcast. You can trim out sections just by highlighting and deleting the text you want removed. In the next few days, I'll be releasing a Riverside editing tutorial. As soon as it's ready, you'll find it in the description below. Editing can be as complex or simple as you want to make it. I'd edit out all the pauses, mistakes, or anything else you want removed. I'd normalize the audio, which means that if your guest audio is lower than yours, you'd increase theirs or lower yours so the audio sounds similar as you jump back and forth from one person or another talking. When you're done editing, export a video file and an audio only file from the editing software. A few notes about your episodes. Here's some interesting data from Buzzsprout. The most common podcast length is 20 to 40 minutes with 31%. But as you can see, there are plenty of podcasts with episodes of less than 10 minutes, 16%, and 15% of episodes are over an hour. Also, the most common publishing frequency is every 8 to 14 days, with 40% of podcasts, 31% of podcasts published every 3 to 7 days. Speaking of Buzzsprout, the next step in the process is signing up for a podcast hosting service. We chose Buzzsprout because of the analytics they provide. They have a free plan if you're publishing less than 2 hours per month, and here are the other pricing tiers. Another popular option that's always free is Spotify for podcasters, formerly known as Anchor. I'm a little wary of using one of the podcast players as my hosting provider, so I pay for Buzzsprout, but plenty of podcasters use Spotify without any issue. Create your account, fill in your podcast name, add the description from the earlier step in this video, and upload your podcast artwork. You can easily create this for free using Canva. Your design should be 3,000 pixels by 3,000 pixels. Choose the category you want your podcast to show up under on Apple Podcasts. Find a full list of categories in the description below. Upload your first episode or episodes and schedule when you want them to go live. Add episode show notes. These notes are anything you want to share with your listeners about the episode. Also, the show notes can help someone find your podcast and or episodes when searching. Riverside can also automatically create your show notes using AI. After at least your first episode is uploaded, get listed on the major podcast directories. Here's a list of the top 10 directories according to Buzzsprout. The two most important are Apple Podcasts and Spotify. It can take several days to get accepted by Apple Podcasts, so make sure to submit your show to Apple a handful of days before you want to officially launch your podcast. It's one of the most used podcast players, so it's important that you get listed there before going and telling anyone to go listen to your podcast. Create a YouTube channel. You'll need a profile picture or logo, banner, and add your podcast description to the channel description. We have a video walking you through step-by-step how to create your channel down below. We recommend publishing 3 episodes for your launch. If someone finds an episode they like, it's important to have more content for them to listen to or watch. If there's only 1 episode, they won't know if you'll be publishing anything else. With multiple episodes, they'll have a better idea what your podcast is about, making it more likely they'll subscribe to be notified about future episodes. If you really want to be an overachiever, I'd have 5 episodes recorded before your launch. You can publish 3 for the launch and then have the next 2 weeks, if you're publishing weekly, ready to go, allowing you to take a week off from recording to focus on your launch and then get back into the rhythm of consistently recording after that. To publish video episodes on Spotify, you'll need to log into your Spotify account and replace the audio with the video. You'll find detailed instructions down below. To make sure you properly upload the video to YouTube, watch this video down below. You'll also want to create a podcast playlist so that episodes will also show up on YouTube Music and other places where YouTube promotes podcasts on the platform. The most difficult part of podcasting is being found. Audio podcasts are great for building trust. You're in someone's ear for maybe an hour at a time, accompanying them on their daily commute, at the gym, or while they're doing chores around the house. The best way for people to find you is with short form vertical video clips for Instagram Reels, TikTok, and YouTube Shorts. These types of videos are shown primarily to people who don't follow you. These videos are a great way for someone to find a short clip from one of your episodes, maybe watch several more after visiting your social media profile, then searching for the full episode on YouTube or their favorite podcast player. Riverside, with the help of AI, can help you create clips for social media. If you want to give Riverside a try, you can use the link in the description below and use the code TheFigCo at checkout to get 15% off your first purchase. Now, if you want to learn how to record or edit your video podcast with Riverside, watch either of the videos along the side right here, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.